Okay, right. So this is Little Martha by Duane Allman. Was written by Duane Allman in 1972, I think 72. It's an acoustic guitar piece. The original was in open E tuning, which I think the tuning itself is what makes the melody. If you know what I'm saying. You tune your guitar to an open chord or some alternative tuning, and then what happens is people play around with shapes that they know, that they recognize, and then other shapes, and they go, oh, that sounds cool, let's do that. And that's exactly what we have here. Now, it was a duet, so there are it's not really sophisticated. I mean, there's no like counterpoint or anything like that. A little bit of harmony. So for one ukulele, it's been simplified a little bit. The advantage of the ukulele tuning the way it is, whether that's high G or low G, is it is kind of like an open tuning. It does have a minor chord here and a major chord here, so it's easy. Sometimes it's not too difficult to do open tuned arrangements in standard tuned ukulele. I had to change the key, of course, because that was never going to work in E major. Okay, there are basically two sections and a bridge, and an intro, which is at a different tempo. So there's a slow intro, and you'll see why I chose to do this key. In this key, it is very tiring on the hands because you need to hold this bar shape for like all of the intro in the first section. Okay, let's get into it, and I'll show you. I might have to make some changes to the tab as we go along, so this is a work in progress, this tab, but the final one in the PDF will be the correct one. The other thing is that as fingerstyle pieces go, especially we're using this this kind of Travis picking alternating thumb, the tabs might not be 100% accurate, so you need to listen to the original, listen to mine, listen to the original. And you'll find out for yourself what feels the best for you. Anyway, let's get into it. The introduction. I've got this slow introduction, but I'm already going to start holding my bar. I've arranged it in D. Do I need that? No, I don't. Let's just keep this really simple. Oops. Oh, that's great. Don't jump down. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to mention here is the timing. I found the official score for it for guitar. It's published by Hal Leonard. I found that on MuseScore, and it had bars of 3/4 time, and I think a couple of bars of 5/4 time. And I probably did that in the demo as well. And I probably missed a beat or added a beat here and there. And apparently that's exactly what Duane Allman did, and what a lot of self-taught musicians who don't have classical training, they're not sitting down with a score sheet and noting every beat. They're just playing what comes into their heads. Okay, so this one is the introduction is in free time. Okay, so you're just going to give that long wait there. Okay, so we've got this nice chord here, which is what like an A7, and then that repeats again. Not really teaching you anything here. You're just looking at the tabs, going along with it. Okay, and we can see in bar 6 we accelerate, so we do the same thing in bar 5. Get rid of that E, that A. Sorry, don't need that. Okay, and then as we accelerate, then. And we've got this bar of 2/4 time. Okay, so that's just we're going to drop those in various places. Okay, so just that all right, so that's let's just play that all the way through. Let's go. 2, 3, 4 D, that's my D, A7, and again, and this time pulling off. There we go. And that's it, the intro. And we're going to see then now we're going to play just this shape. So we're holding a D shape, just barring across the 2nd fret. I'm going to hammer on to G. All right. Okay, so filling in this note D with the thumb. Okay, so what we've got then, if you look at that E and G there. And then the second time around, so we do have a kind of question and answer response. So we're going to repeat that. It's going to go around again. And then the second time, we just go back to the F sharp there and not the G. Okay, so the first time around. And then second time, back to F sharp, back to D. Okay, and you need to practice that. You need to practice Travis picking. You know, looking at my thumb. And you can see that the difference with the guitar and then is the two missing strings is that I don't have a lot of bass to play, so I'm going to play more of this D and alternating between the D and the A. Okay, and once you've got the hang of that, so practice that until it feels normal and natural, and until your hand starts to get tired, because you need to build up some strength in your left hand or your picking hand, not your picking hand, your fretting hand. Into bar 16, and we're going to just move it up. Okay, so we're going to play the a fourth interval higher, you know, just like we do in a lot of blues and rock and roll music, just moving it up, shifting it up. And then coming back down to D, sorry. Okay, so sliding up. And then coming back down in bar 19 and repeating the final section of what we already did on the D chord. Okay. Oops. There's an open A that shouldn't be there. Okay. And most of these are pull-offs as well, which oops. Most of those they're all pull-offs. Okay, so hammer-ons and pull-offs everywhere. Okay, right, that's the first section done. Okay, so a little bit like a 12-bar blues, but without the fifth interval, only the fourth. Okay, so up to from D up to this bar shape here, which is kind of like it's like a G chord. Yeah, it's a G chord, obviously. And then we're transitioning into the second section with this next bar of 2/4. Okay, moving into the second section then. Okay, and we've got some nice chords. Basically, it's a 3-chord song, you know, around a 1-4-5, like I just said. Okay, we've got G and we've got D. We're in the key of D, and then we're going up to G and to A. Okay, and here I've got this kind of major seventh to an A sus chord. And I'm flicking off from C sharp to B. Oh, that'd be kind of like an add 9. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna just do that like that. Okay, so just watch the fingering. Okay, so a little half bar, E open, and then this G shape. Don't need that. don't need that, so let's get rid of that. Okay. A open again, and then pulling off on the 4th string, 6th fret, C sharp to 4th fret B, and then bar 26 filling in, straight back into it, and down to an E minor chord. Okay, so we've got the relative of the G, so it's not. Okay, and then I'm adding this note A onto the E minor chord. Okay, to give it that another kind of a suspended feel to it, sus feel to it, and then back into it. Exactly the same. Let's just move along. Exactly the same, except here in bar 30. Okay, instead of going back up to the note B, I'm going down to the note F sharp. And this is where you understand why I chose this key, because it makes it a lot easier to make these runs. Just look at bar 31. This is exactly what he does in except he goes down into the bass, which I don't have. Okay, so that would be on the low E string on the guitar, and here I'm going F sharp to D, and then straight back into it, and that repeats. Okay, so you see the repeat sign. Okay, so that's going to go here from bar 29 through to bar 32. Down to F sharp twice, into bar 31, just coming down, make that a bar. In fact, that should be a bar shape. Okay, because then we're just going to head straight back into the first section, so that just repeats. So I'll just put that bar on there. So like this, bar it, and then reach up with your little finger and pull off, and that repeats. Okay, when you get da 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 da, and then back, bam 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 bam. E minor, repeats, and a nice little bluesy run down. Okay, now when we play that round all the way through, playing it a second time, then I've got an alternative ending to that second section, which is these harmonics here. Sounds nicer on the guitar, I have to admit. And in the demo, I missed this one because you have to go fast. So we're going to come down again, bam, 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 bam. And then if I've got my bar on here, coming down to the note C sharp. Okay, so I'm going to play natural harmonic E. Okay, artificial harmonic. So that's on the 13th fret, C sharp, and then up to the A. Bum, 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 bum. And then we get into our little bridge section. So I call that the bridge section because we only play it once before going back into the first section again and then concluding. So I call this the bridge. And I'm going to show you how to play an easy version of this because this is tricky. And maybe you don't like the sound of it as well. My wife didn't like it. Right, now I've got these double stops. Okay, and this took me a while to get it up to speed. So you can see there in bar 34 there, I've got this double stop of A and E, and I'm sliding up to B and F sharp. And then I'm pulling off with my pinky. So I'm holding that. I think it's important to get the fingers right on this one. And then pulling off with my pinky to play the note A open. Back to the B. Okay, and then first finger on the note D. Okay, and then first finger off again, and then slide back down to my first position. Alright, we don't want that either. Okay, so how does that sound? That's it. Let's get rid of that one as well. Yeah, I'm not even playing this note here. So if you're a better player than me, you could manage that. Okay, or play it open when that's not necessary. Okay, and then again we've got a question and answer sequence where that repeats again, and then we've still got our G chord, where I'm going to play this high G here on the 10th fret. Okay, so if I play that section all the way through, it looks like this. In fact, what I'm doing there is I'm holding that, because I'm holding it anyway. So the choice is yours. You can play either one of those. It doesn't make any difference. And then we do it again, bar 36. And then we move up to this high G, okay? And that should be a G. Technically, that should be a G. It would sound better, okay? Let's do that together. Let me slow down the tempo. That's really too fast. Let's make that, I don't know, 121. Oops, let's put the click on. And we'll try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. And my timing is maybe not exactly as the way that I played it on the demo, but you'll figure that out. Okay. Very difficult to get the timing exactly right on these kind of pieces. Alright, we're going to do that twice. Alright, and when we've done that twice, then we should be at here, we should be at bar 40. And I'm going to play E minor chord. Okay, so I'm going to go E minor, G to A, an A major chord. Okay, now you could alternate with an open A if you want to. Okay, and then the kind of rhythm to this one. Looks like this. Let's try that. Yeah, so it's bam 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 bam. Alright, so we're going to go, let's just go back along that way. E minor, G, A, bam 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 bam. Okay, and then we're going to go into, we're going to come back down again if you like. We're starting with this this kind of G major 7. I'm calling it G major 7. Yeah. And we're going to come back down to E minor. And keep the same rhythm. Bam, 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 bam. Alright, so I'm going to hold that. I'm going to hold that chord there. Okay, making a few simplifications here where the acoustic guitar version was got 2 more strings. What do you want me to tell you? Got 2 more strings, you can get away with a lot more. Okay, and also the fingering was easy because it was open tuned. Alright, and we're going to do that twice. And the second time round, alright, so you can see where I've got my alternative ending. Well, that starts from here. 3, 4. And then the same ending that we had in the second section. Okay, and then we go back to the first section, and then we just finish by strumming. So when we've gone back all the way around, can finish bum bum, and then G, A, D, A, and then finish bum 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 with the harmonics if you want to. Okay, right, now I told you that this bit was tricky. This bridge section is tricky. And I saw another guy. There's only one other version. One or two. One, seriously. There's one serious version for ukulele, and the guy did a great job. It's in the same key as me. But what he did was he made it more chordal. There were a lot more chords than picking. And his version of this was to come down an octave and play. In a way, it's really nice because you've got this sus feeling to it. All right. So what he's doing then, he's got playing an A chord, starting with C sharp and not playing the G. Okay, just you can just damp the G, and then hammering on with the other three fingers. Okay, on the second fret. Okay, so you've got this like a D6 or a B minor 7, but putting them together, you got this kind of suspended feel, and then into G major chord. And then you can do exactly the same as what I did there, because it's not difficult. Okay, and then do that again, and then just repeat. Oops. And then back into it again. Okay. So this bluesy riff down into it's not difficult to play, so you can keep all of that, and you can keep the chords, and then just strum that. Okay, and if you wanted to make a longer version of it, of course, then you could put both in. You could play it around the first time with the strumming, or the first time. Like that. Okay, so it's a fairly longer tutorial, so there was a lot to get through. Thanks, Glenn, for suggesting this one. It doesn't really fit in with the folk and traditional music that I normally do, but as it was acoustic fingerstyle piece, I thought it was worth doing, and I think it was worth paying a tribute to the Allman Brothers band and the great impact they had on that kind of blues rock and country rock. I don't know what you'd call that, southern rock, if you like, which is kind of cool. I like it. Whatever. But anyway, thanks for watching that. Good luck with it. If you've got any questions or criticisms of the way that I presented that, let me know in the comments. So thanks a lot, and see you next time.